So in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how much money I earned this month from my $50,000 dividend portfolio. 2 years ago, I started this dividend portfolio at the late age of 28 years old, but luckily with consistent investing, I was able to slowly grow it to this nice, cool, big number of $50,000. So if you're thinking that it's too late for you and you're too old, it's likely that you're just overreacting because you're comparing yourself to the peers that are likely to be the top 1% in your age group. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to understand a bit more about dividend investing and finally get started with your journey of earning this mythical passive income everyone is talking about. So let's first review the entire $50,000 portfolio and talk about why I started this portfolio. So I currently have 3 main stocks in my portfolio and I use the Momo Singapore app to invest into them. The first 2 stocks that I invested in are called REITs and they stand for Real Estate Investment Trusts. So they are relatively simple to understand. Basically, how they work is that we as investors invest all our money into these stocks and the company pulls together all our money to buy real estate properties. So they then rent them out to other people like tenants and they collect the rental and distribute it back to us as dividends. So this means that I'm doing real estate investments without actually needing such a big amount of money. So if you're based in Singapore, you know that properties here are super expensive. Don't even get me started on the cars. The cars cost 100 to 200,000, but if you want a property here, you'll probably need around 400 to 600,000 just to afford a decent place. So this allows me, number one, to own a piece of real estate without such a big investment on my part, and number two, to collect rental without having to deal with the hassle of repairing broken toilets, pipes and maintenance for all my tenants. I don't want to have to deal with any of those things, but I still want to invest my money and get a decent return on it. So I basically just have to invest my money, sit back and relax and collect the passive income. The first stock in the portfolio is CapitaLand Mall REITs, and so far I currently own 10,532 shares of it at an average price of 1.93. So based on the current price of the stock at 2.03 today, at least at the time of recording, the estimated value of this stock holding is at $21,379.96, as you can see from the screenshot here. The second stock will be Ascendant REITs, and I currently own 8,200 shares of it at a current price of 2.7011. So this stock is more interesting because I'm currently in the red for this stock because the current price is actually 2.67. This puts the estimated value of the stock holding at $21,894. So it's interesting because if I were to sell this stock right now, I would actually be losing money. I think I'm in the red for about $1,000 to $2,000 or something to that ballpark. But it is actually quite interesting because I want you guys to get into this mindset of investing that you shouldn't be investing so much into things that are constantly rising and constantly growing so quickly and everyone is just trying to chase the hype. Not that I'm saying that you shouldn't be investing in something that should be growing. All I'm saying is that you need to be careful when everybody is just overhyping a certain stock because every time you buy, it's more likely it's going to drop. I actually love it when my stocks are actually in the red or they are dropping because then I get to buy things at a cheaper and cheaper deal because I know throughout the long run it's going to continue rising. Of course, capital growth is not what I'm looking for in my dividend portfolio, but it is also good to know that the stocks that I'm currently holding are going to be increasing in the future as well. The last stock that I've also started adding to my portfolio is the DBS Bank stock. So I've only been investing into REITs and I feel like it was about time for me to sort of diversify a little bit into some of the safer bank stocks like DBS so that I can have a bit more well-rounded portfolio. So if you guys know, during the pandemic and everything that was going on, a lot of companies took a very big hit, and especially the REITs was something that also took a very big hit. The dividends, they couldn't really pay out properly, but the banks were doing really well. So now I want to invest my money into DBS as well. The only problem is DBS is really expensive. You need about $3,900 at least just to own 100 shares of the stock. Singapore stocks are a bit different. You need to own at least 100 shares on the Momo Singapore app itself. So it's actually quite expensive. So I currently own 200 shares of DBS at the price of $36.47. At a current price of $38.75, this stock holding is worth $7,750. This brings the total portfolio value to $51,023.96. This is just a fun fact, but it puts me in the green to just about $2,000 of capital growth, at least at this point in time. Now let's talk about the portfolio goals and rules. So I started this dividend investing portfolio because I knew that it was one of the ways that I could potentially invest my money. Another thing I'm foreseeing in the future is like when I'm at my 50s, my 60s as well, I'm going to need more monthly income to sustain my life. It's just going to be that way. Having a big bank account with many zeros isn't going to mean much when you're in the 50s and 60s because you really need to withdraw that money to use it for yourself. Maybe you want to use it for your medical bills or you want to use it for, just to travel the world and to enjoy your life a little bit more. What's the point of having all that money inside the account but not coming out in order for you to enjoy it? There's no point, especially in your 50s, 60s, where you might not have a lot more time left in that sense. So that's the point of this dividend portfolio, which is to provide for me, and that's why I started it. So the goal is actually to hit 500,000 by the time I reach 50 years old and be able to provide around 25,000 per year, which is around $2,000 each per month, and supplement my CPF payouts in the future. future as well. Of course, a lot of people also use the conventional way of just investing into the S&P 500 index fund that gives around 7 to 10% every single year. And one of the most asked questions on both my YouTube and my TikTok account is that, why don't I do the same thing? So to be honest, I do have a smaller portfolio that's also investing into the S&P 500, but I want to try out this dividend portfolio first to see how it goes as a little bit of a financial experiment. So I'm currently putting the S&P 500 portfolio aside as well because I'm channeling all my available investments into this dividend portfolio. So that portfolio, I'm not going to put additional money inside. I'm just going to let it compound and grow, and whenever I need that money, I might just withdraw it, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. So there's of course no one right way to invest your money in the stock market, but you need to find a way that you yourself are comfortable with. That's number one. And number two is that you can reasonably do it sustainably for the rest of your life. I think that is the most important because a lot of people, they get started investing or they actually don't want to get started investing, but the difficulty is actually trying to be consistent with all things in life. Trying to be consistent and trying to maintain it for the rest of your life, that's going to be really, really tough. The rules of my portfolio was also simple. There are just two main rules for this portfolio. Rule number one is that I wanted dividend stocks that just had a reasonable yield of 5%. So this is a good amount of return that I feel comfortable with and will be able to fund my lifestyle for the future. It's a bit higher than the Singapore savings bonds or high interest bank accounts, which are around 3%, but slightly lower than the S&P 500 return. So all the stocks that I currently own, which are CapitaLand REITs, Ascender REITs, and DBS Bank stocks, all fulfill this criteria of giving a 5% dividend yield at least. Rule number two is that I will consistently buy every single month, irregardless of the price point, and I will assume to have no capital growth from these stocks as well. So this is a very fancy way to say that I'm basically just going to do dollar cost averaging and just buying the stocks every single month without being too greedy and timing the market. So I'll be honest as well, I wasn't really able to keep to the rule number two for a good amount of time during last year and this year because both of my REITs, or rather the CapitaLand REITs and Ascender REITs, both of them were rising so much that I just felt so uncomfortable buying into them when they were at their highs. It's so weird because in the past I would be chasing all these stocks that actually keep rising and always in the green, but now I'm really very hesitant to buy the stocks that are constantly increasing. I'm slowly turning into a cheapskate who just want to buy the cheap stocks at a very, very low price, but I really love it when the stocks are in the red. Of course, I won't love it looking at my portfolio, but I love it to buy stocks in the red in that sense. So it definitely takes a good amount of discipline to follow your rules and make sure that you invest consistently. Now let's get to the juiciest part of this video, which is how much money I actually earned this month. So out of the three stocks, DBS already paid me dividends of $54 last month, so there was no payout from DBS this month. CapitaLand REITs and Ascender REITs just happened to pay their dividends coincidentally this month at the same time, which was my biggest dividend payout so far in the last 2 years or so. So CapitaLand REITs paid me a total of $515.85. It's also already paid me around another $500 a couple months ago, so that amounts to around that 5% dividend yield that we were discussing earlier. Next will be Ascender REITs, and he paid me a total of $564.31. Similarly, Ascender REITs also paid $500 each earlier in the year and also fulfilled that 5% dividend yield for the portfolio. This brings the total dividend payout this month to $1,080.16. Not too shabby, yeah, to be receiving over $1,000 a month on top of my monthly salary. So I've also since deployed this money to buy more CapitaLand REITs and Ascender REITs this month, which I'll review more in my October income video. So definitely stay tuned for that video. One of the main things that I'm really liking about this dividend investing portfolio is that you really can see this cold hard cash just coming into your investing account, and this brings a real feeling of excitement and money that I can freely use anytime I want as compared to the S&P 500 index fund investing. So if I wanted to take money out of that account, I would have to sell away some shares in order to do so, which just makes the investing method a little bit less fun, and you can't really feel that money coming in and you can't really actually use it. So most people just store it away for as long as they can. They only touch the S&P 500 investment in their later years. To be fair, I don't know any adults who actually invest into S&P 500 who are a lot older than me in the past, like my parents and all. They don't invest in this kind of thing. So I actually don't have historical value on these kind of things, or perhaps real life case scenarios of people doing really well at the S&P 500. However, that's what the internet says. That's what all the financial gurus on YouTube says as well. So I'm just going to go ahead with it because that's what the historical data has shown so far, and let's not dispute it in that sense. So even though you can also say that I'm essentially doing the same in my dividend portfolio, just having the freedom of being able to access that money and receiving $500 each every few months, it's a really nice feeling actually. Hopefully this helps to kickstart your investing journey, and if you enjoyed this video here and you want to get started with investing, then you probably enjoyed this video here on how to invest on Momo Singapore in 2025 for beginners. Thanks for watching, have an amazing day as usual, and I'll see you guys in the next few videos. Bye bye.